Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. For those who didn't attend yesterday's talk, I'm gonna just quickly explain. First, welcome our guests, Jordan Roth and Mel Ottenberg. You can have seats so I can explain. So the idea of our gathering yesterday and today is as you know, I did a collaboration with ZARA, and the collection is titled "Let's Talk About Fashion." So to finalize our capsule collaboration, which is coming to an end next week, I offered to the ZARA team that we should actually talk about fashion, and I gathered a few people who are, I'm sure, yours and my fashion icons and idols, the people who I talk to the most to the shows, and we share some similar, some different opinions about fashion. And yesterday we had Anna De La Russo and Karin Reutfeld. So today we have Jordan and Mel, and later we will have Lucien Pages and Sarah Andelman joining us. So we've done more than a half of the fashion day today, which was a great fashion day.
Great day.
So I'm gonna just start asking the questions, the question that Mel always asks when we see each other. And the question sounds like this: what's in the air of fashion today?
Well, I've been thinking the air was pretty stale and sad recently, but today's been a great day for fashion. It really is. Paris is so great today. What do you think?
I had a great day.
Yeah, great day.
I mean, Valentino in the bathroom, I am in.
Yeah. Valentino was great. Alessandro Michele's second Valentino show was fucking great. I loved it.
Duran was
Duran
fantastic.
Lantink was incredible.
Yeah.
It was so fun. In a world that is makes no sense and is crazy, that was it.
So I want to also explain kind of why we have them together with me, because for me, when I was thinking how to make a pair of people who are completely different with their expressions, but kind of the same because they are kind of experimental. They like to surprise us. They like to shock us even sometimes. And I think what they share, besides that they're both Americans.
Don't hold it against us.
No, we love.
Medium.
I thought that together, and I often see them either sitting together or talking to each other or talking to me. So I thought that two people who differently love and express their love of fashion, I would gather them with me, who also loves fashion in a different way. And I'm very much observer, and I can also say a fan of both of your works. I know about Mel for a longer time, so I remember it was around. It was my first fashion season, actually. We were exiting, I think it was the Louis Vuitton show at the very end of the fashion season, outside of Louvre, and I was dressed in full denim look, and Mel stopped, looked at me and told me oh, you look great. So that was the time when we first met, and we've been fashion friends since then. And with Jordan, it's been more recent. I don't even remember the exact show, but suddenly we connected, I think, and we bump up each other more and more in different places. So my first question coming from all of this, I just want to ask you the same question. How much do you love fashion?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
A lot.
And why?
Fashion has always been a vocabulary for me, a way of exploring myself, expressing myself, explaining myself. To you, but also to myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been the outward and the inward, the how, because it is really for me a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It is a way to a feeling, and to all the different parts of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think people often say, oh, you're doing characters. And I'm not really doing characters. I'm doing facets of myself, which is, I think, what fashion offers us. For those who the facet, they want to stick to the one facet, it offers the way to do that. For those who want to go like that and keep turning the facets, it's here for you too.
Yeah, I see.
And that's what it is for me.
Yeah. And you?
I think I love style. I have a love-hate relationship with fashion.
Good distinction.
But style, I love every second of every day. Fashion, sometimes. Today, I love fashion. Because today, fashion, and I do love Paris, because Paris fashion is truly international fashion, and it's bold and just the most confident expressions of fashion in this time period, or for the most part in Paris. And today was a great day of energy, so today I love it. Sometimes I
Stay
don't.
tuned for tomorrow.
Stay tuned for tomorrow.
Yeah, we have 2 more.
And the day's not over.
Yeah,
you know?
we
There's
have
other shows.
two big shows.
Yeah,
There is Balenciaga, there is Copernic, so let's
Yeah.
see. So I feel like the people who know you and who know your names, they kind of know your career more or less. They follow you, what you do. But I want to ask you, because even I'm interested in that, what's the first memory of fashion that you have? I'm not saying your first job or work in fashion, but the first memory, because for me it was a magazine found in let's say a beauty salon when I went there for my haircut. What was that for you?
My mother.
Okay.
Actually, it's sort of perfect that we just came from the Valentino bathroom, because my first memories are sitting in my mother's bathroom and watching her do her hair and do her nails, and that's when we would talk. And she had this fabulous lucite chair that she would sit on, and then I can smell the hairspray. There was a lot of
Okay.
hairspray, still is. And then she would go out with my dad, and I can picture some of those dresses, I can picture some of those looks, I can picture some of the pictures of the looks. And she wasn't like a super fashion plate, but she was, it felt like a window or a door. And it's still, I still have those references in my head.
Okay. What about you?
For mine, it was a bit of both of yours. It was my mother. It was the mid '80s, and she would buy. I guess it's more style, but she would buy neon accessories and stockings and stuff at the punk store and accessorize
Cool, Mom.
her looks. I know, it's so cool. And and also American Vogues that were in my friends' parents, like stack of American Vogues that I would look at and realized that I loved.
It's like, don't get the porn, get the American Vogue.
Yeah, it was like 1985 American Vogue. So yeah.
Give it to me, Daddy.
Those were the things that really turned me on first.
I wanted to ask this question before, but do you remember your first memory of each other? When did you first meet? And how?
These are good questions.
Yeah.
It's definitely Instagram.
Okay.
Like, we definitely...
The Great Connector.
The Great Connector. I don't know. Instagram...
Because you've done the editorial for September issue like 2 years ago, right?
That was the first time we talked on the phone, because you got my number and I was like, oh my God, is Jordan gonna like or hate Jordan's like September interview shoot? Because I was like, we gotta bring Jordan downtown and shoot on the West Side Highway and all this stuff. And then Jordan
Which, P.S. was like across the street from my apartment.
Okay.
So it's
There you
not
go.
like I wasn't
See?
already downtown.
See, exactly.
But perhaps not aesthetically.
Yeah.
And then we had and then Jordan loved
And
the
I
shoot,
loved it.
and we had a fun conversation. So that's the first time we talked on the phone. But I don't know, I just instantly loved Jordan on Instagram.
Why?
Because Jordan was doing something and like doing it and wearing clothes and buying clothes. Oh, I'm sure that it was, I was noticing couture that you were wearing as a customer of the couture world. I'm like, this is the way it's supposed to be. It's like real love of fashion, real investment into style and fashion, which I think is so cool and so important. And if you've got it, do it. And you were doing it so well. So that, I love that.
My love.
Of course.
What do you love the most about Mel or his work?
Oh, I just sort of constantly amazed by Mel's ability to, I don't want to say finger on the pulse because it implies a sort of extracting something that's already there. It's rather a kind of electrifying the pulse. Mm-hmm. It's sort of the ability to kind of see the culture and throw a rock into it that will make shockwaves.
Yeah.
Visual shockwaves, cultural shockwaves, aesthetic shockwaves, and over and over and over again. And it looks impossible to me. So the fact that you are able to do it is, astounding.
Yes, Jordan.
So that.
I
and
absolutely.
also, he's a total baller. Look at him.
Yeah.
I.
I absolutely agree with that because there are very few people these days that reminds me that approach fashion as a culture, and I think two of you are the people who approach it as who maybe wants to change something or put their mark on the culture. So the next question you just logically just went to my question directly. So
happy to help.
You are just known for me. You are the person who are associated with a bit of shock, a bit of provocation, a bit of risk-taking in a very different ways. And I asked this question to Karin yesterday because she was the original, in a way, like risk-taker with her career in 90s, and she was kind of inventor of this so-called porno chic, as we call it. I wonder when you put, for example,
Neither of us were.
Yeah, well, I wonder when you choose your most spectacular outfit, or when you choose someone like Bill Gates to have in fashion editorial. Is it a real self-expression, just going because you just want to do it, or you always think that, oh, this is gonna grab attention from the people? Do you put this attention-grabbing element to your actions in your work?
I do not.
Okay.
So I'm never doing something because I think it will get a rise out of you. It's just not, I was the good boy. Mm-hmm. So it's like not in my DNA to just like, well, let me see if I can get you to notice me like this. Yeah. However, I do work at scale. Mm-hmm. And so I scale and volume, metaphoric volume and literal volume are parts of the palette that I really respond to, and that I gravitate to, and that are expressions of myself. Mm-hmm. So I think those are often conflated, and that's how I think about it for myself.
And do you then care about the comment from people, how they does their opinion change something for you in general? They dislike something that you wear or did?
Don't care a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Well, no, I think what's true for me is the comments that affect me are the ones that poke at something that I doubt about myself.
Right.
If it's something that's like that's not part of my own parcel of anxieties, then it's like, oh, okay, you're an idiot, or I can take that and turn it into a meme. But if you hit on something that is a wound for me, those are the ones that stick.
Okay. And you, when you shoot someone unexpected, like, or interviewed by someone because you are doing this, and that's why interview is the magazine of the moment, kind of affecting and changing the culture and making fashion as a part of the pop culture again, in a way. Do you think that, I'm gonna do Bill Gates just because you want it, or you want also people to like say like, oh, Mel is so good for doing this?
Well, I mean, interview is a team and it's a conversation. It's like, it's really not just me. We're just having conversations about what we think is fun, and it's really my job as the editor of an interview to, have ideas of my own, but also listen to the team and different ideas and just think about, okay, these are the right ones to do. Let's confirm this stuff. Let's not do this stuff. And how are we going to do this in our way or to our best advantage, in like how are we going to do this in a simple and effective and strong way? And that is photos, it's fashion. I think it's important for Bill Gates, for instance, I was like, okay, we need to style Bill Gates. We need to send a stylist to Palo Alto. This is not anything if he's just wearing his own clothes. This question reminds me of this thing I remembered reading in the Andy Warhol Diaries that really stuck with me, where he was like, oh, why are they shooting blah blah in interview, like a sports person in an interview without being styled? They just were wearing like their football clothes. And he was like, that's not what interview's about. It's about taking them out of that and bringing them into our world. And so I remembered that, and that's really stuck with me. And that came up in my brain when we were doing Bill Gates. It was like, we got to get Bill Gates and Celine and Bottega and stuff. And then also at the end, we've got to pick the right pictures. That's a big thing too. Like obsessing over the right pictures, being like, wait, that one actually sucks. Like, get rid of that. And like, this one, these are good. Okay, wait, now we're good. Now let's work on the headlines and stuff. And let's work on the interviewer and let's make sure it's blah, blah, blah. And then if people love it, great. If people don't love it, fuck it. I don't know. And then the stuff that people get really angry about, I love. Mm-hmm. I love it. And it's part of when people get really mad at interview and they get really mad at me. I think it's so funny, and we talk about it in the office. And I don't read too many comments, but I read just enough to understand that I shouldn't do stuff like that all the time, but I must do it sometimes because it's important. People being mad at you is great. And then I would say, as far as really mean comments, of which I've had a lot recently, it's fine. It's just part of the world.
Yeah. So I understand that these shoots and your dressing up and your work is kind of part of to keep yourself excited about fashion. But I wonder if you ever get bored of fashion, and how do you cheer up yourself? Is it for you just to dress up and go out and show yourself, or how you bring your fashion excitement back?
I don't know that I ever get bored of fashion.
Okay.
I get bored of myself sometimes, and I think like it's enough.
Yeah.
It's enough. And then you sort of tuck away for a couple of days, and then it's like, oh, where am I? What happened? So yes, I think. Look, I generally think that whatever projection, whatever experience we think we're having of something external is really just a projection of what we're having internal. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm bored of fashion is I'm bored of myself in fashion. Mm-hmm. I'm bored, I don't like that is I don't like that about myself. Mm-hmm. And so the more that we can sort of redirect that and sit with that discomfort, the wiser we might be.
I see. For you? Like yesterday, for example, or the other day.
Not into fashion. Yeah, today is a perfect example of that.
Yeah,
Because I'm in a good mood because I saw good fashion.
Okay.
Today, fashion that I liked, and I thought, and I saw a rise. There was a real energy today at these two shows. Where everyone around me was loving it. The fashion was really bringing joy to people and also looked cool, and that's such a good, it's just so entertaining and fun. And so it's easy to get, fashion always has to change. So you can hate it one day, love it the next day, hate it the next day, love it the next day. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think, I'm very ADD, which is also helpful for me because it just makes me need something else. I'm bored, I want something else. I want grunge, I want glamour, I want up, I want down, and I just think I can really, that just helps me. I've made that work for me. So I'm always like needing a regeneration. Yeah. I'm not organized like you are. You're very, very organized. It's amazing. Yeah. I really admire it.
Thank you. I wonder.
I think the other thing I would say to that is, and it's interesting to hear you explain that experience, because I think my mood of it, I find, is less reactive to the clothes. Because I'm not really here for the clothes. I'm here for the feeling that the clothes can engender.
Yes.
And that feeling can emerge even if, regardless of whether I like the clothes or not. Because not like the experience of not liking something, of sitting with discomfort, of frustration, is an experience, is a feeling that I can use.
Yeah.
Also, to that point, actually, I feel like I can go to a show that everybody hates when I'm at Fashion Week, and I'm like, oh, but I'll do this and that, and that'll be great. I can morph these things. I can do something with this. This has potential.
And we had this similar
like it doesn't
shows.
have to. I don't have to love everything to be like, oh, I'm gonna make this work for me.
Yeah. We had these shows, you remember, 2 seasons ago that everyone hated. There were 2 shows that we liked it.
Yes.
And I think today they are doing great.
Which were those shows?
Yes.
No, we can tell you.
We'll
later.
tell you after?
Yeah.
Korean liked them too. I remember
Secrets
being
of ZARA?
like,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
why does everyone
Yeah.
hate blah blah Mel? I
Yeah.
think it's cool. I'm like, it is
yeah.
cool. It's cool.
Kathy Horin, I also remember, she did a great review
Yeah,
of those
yeah.
shows,
Yeah,
especially.
yeah.
So we share that. So coming from that, I wonder, coming from your early years of fashion and today in 2025, what is the main difference of the industry since you went deeper to the industry and when you started in the industry? What it lacks, what you miss the most compared to that era, or what is too much today in fashion compared to that time?
I mean, these are not the best of times for anything. I don't think. I think it's a very disappointing time in the world. And I think that hopefully brighter days are in the future. But there was a lot more creativity and a lot more consumer confidence and a lot more the designer's the most important thing. The extravagance of the designer and the people on top is like obnoxious, but sort of like a thing that we all really enjoyed and got a lot of entertainment from. So like the entertainment of fashion in the fashion world was so fun. So even if you were like a kid with no money reading, like, I don't even remember how we got all of our fashion news, but we got it all somehow. And and it was just so opulent and everything was so extreme and the characters were so mega. And I just think everything was a lot stronger and richer. And I don't just mean richer as in money, it just was more, everything had more depth, you know? And I think that also, if you think about the last 5 years, there's been like really bad times and then really good times and then really bad times again. And I think we're in a truly horrible time right now, but other good times will come back. Supposedly.
Yeah.
Says me right now.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I'm really interested, Mel, in what you're saying about the characters were stronger, because that connects for me with what we were talking about of scale and volume. You know, you think of, I mean, the cult, not the cult, but the sort of cult status of Lagerfeld. Still, I mean, you know, those auctions, they're literally auctioning the coffee cup that was in the bathroom. Yeah. And it's like, oh, give me a piece of that.
Joan Didion's Fiesta wear. I wanted it.
I mean,
and I didn't get it.
Yes, and it's so interesting because like look at these. It's ways of just sort of holding on to that character at scale. And I do think it's useful to look at what is it when an ecosystem had that kind of characters of scale and then has less and less and less. What is it about the ecosystem that is not supporting or not fertile to that kind of character? And if you want them back, water the soil.
Oh my God, I'm just thinking now, like, what year is this? I used to style John Galliano for the runway,
No.
like a finale looks.
No.
Really?
Yeah. So I would be flown to
Have
Paris.
you all? Did we just digest that?
I know.
Like,
And by the way, that wasn't my answer right away. I just remembered, like, oh right, like, good example of what it used to be. Like, this young, like, stylist would fly to Paris and style John Galliano for the finales.
Wow.
And they're it was so fucking crazy. And then there were some good ones, and there were some, like, whatever. They're not all, like, the best ones, but there's some good ones. There's some really good ones. And one was really amazing. It was sorry, what?
Pirate?
There was definitely some pirates, and the bullfighter one, which is very iconic. That one was very iconic. So yeah, I mean, that job is probably gone, kids. But that was, like, my first job. Isn't that wild? Yeah. Anyway, there's
That's
stuff like
where
that.
you start, man.
That extravagance is gone, and that's my example. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea of this fashion talk and gathering was also to see that every fashion news, especially for me because I am the one who shares the fashion news, is just who is going where, who is in and out, how many percentage the sales are up or down, who is the new CEO, CMO, and that's the only talk in the fashion shows these days. So do you also feel that this business talks has taken over the movement and the HR part of the brand, this has taken over the real fashion talk? Because I feel that way. That's why I thought let's gather the people who love fashion to talk about the actual fashion and not the CEO or like, no.
I think it's so boring.
Yeah.
I can't even, why would I spend time thinking about that or talking about that? Yeah. There are people to talk about that. There are people to obsess over that. I read the line sheet for that. I like reading it. Yeah. But that's not affecting what I do. That's not affected because my audience doesn't give a shit about that. And why would I bore them with, like, business stuff? I don't know. I'm not. I just don't think that is really taken over. At least for me, I'm like, no way. Nobody wants to hear about that. What do you think?
Look, I think it is, it's in the water more and more and more and more. And I think for lovers of fashion, fans of fashion, people who are not coming to shows, people who are getting their information and then translating that into whatever they put on their bodies, it does feel like it's getting more and more and more the chess game of that rather than what does this make me feel like and what does it offer me as a tool of self-expression. So, like, Mel, as you're saying that show you didn't like, but you saw a couple of things that you could use in your work or for others for themselves. And I do worry that, not worry, but I'm sort of aware that the business of it can very easily become sort of take over almost like a weed. And at some point the weed replaces the tree. In terms of what you want to talk about, what you care about, what you wake up every day and want to talk to friends about. And again, I'm not talking about people in the industry. I'm talking about people who love fashion and want to live through it, use it to live.
I see. Because for me, for example, even me, for the daily basis, only questions that I get from my followers, and for me it's important what they think and what they read, because I get a lot of, and only questions these days are like, oh, have you heard that someone is going there or coming there? And no one is asking me about anything like, oh, did you like the collection or what do you think about this? So I think today's shows, especially the two shows that I saw, were the example that how the actual good fashion can eat, even if the one fashion show was present in a very business-minded area in an office. I mean the Duran show today, and I think this was kind of a, how to say, like to make a contrast that a real fashion can completely hide this talk, and I think that's the idea was because to gather you with me today.
But look, the business part is the means to the end.
Yeah.
And when it becomes the end,
yeah,
that's when we start to lose the meaning.
Mm-hmm. I see.
And maybe the desire.
And maybe the desire.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, look, it's interesting. I'm curious. I want to know. But we do have to keep watering the point.
I see. So let's go back to your the personal the feelings and the fashion. I wanted to ask if, imagine, I'm sure there are people for who you consider you as a fashion icon. Who is your fashion icon, if there is anyone, or who was?
Martha Graham.
Okay, and why?
Martha Graham, well, I mean, there's many.
Yeah.
But Martha Graham is always a reference that is nearby. That sort of singular uniqueness of style. I really like your distinction between style and fashion. She was not about, look what I'm wearing today. It was a sort of way her body moved through the world, and the expressiveness and the unabashed beauty and sorrow.
Mm-hmm. For you, I read it. It's Richard Gere, one of them. You just mentioned in an interview.
That's style, not
That's
really
style.
fashion.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's I would say for fashion it would be I'm gonna say your two divas yesterday, Anna Della Russo and Corinne Reutfeld.
Yes.
Without Corinne
Very
Reutfeld, there wouldn't be like this version of me in this era of my life. I really feel that way as an editor. So strong, and also I don't know. I really, really admire Corinne. And she's really a cool person to know, and I think she's so funny and cool, and she ruled Paris hard. When she was the one, she ruled Paris in a way that I guess no one else has, like stylist-wise or editor-wise, like in my career. And then also, oh my God, Anna Della Russo, 20 years ago, was hiring me to do covers exactly 20 years ago, and like I had the March 2005 cover of L'Uomo Vogue. She was the editor of L'Uomo Vogue.
Yeah.
And then I did the April cover of 2005 of L'Uomo Vogue, and she called me and she hated it. And she's like, Mel, I hated the cover. It's so terrible. Like, there's no fashion, and it looks so like it's nothing. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, this is so terrible, but so major that this lady is, this diva is yelling at me on the phone. But I just didn't know what to do. But I remember, like, I went on the shoot, you know what I mean? I didn't know how to do, like, I didn't know how to take the diesel clothes and make it work in a cover way, and I think I definitely have figured that out in my career. Like that moment of her screaming at me really did something. And I told her this story a couple years ago, and she's like, "Man, I'm so sorry that I scream at you. It's like so terrible." I'm like, "No, Anna, it's major. It's amazing. Like you really helped form me." So shout out to them. Great and great casting.
Yeah, because
on your part.
Thank you. Because for me, Karin was the one I told to her, because if I did not see that Vogue magazine, Vogue Paris, it was September 2008 issue. I still remember the feeling that I had. I would not be maybe here, or maybe I would get here a bit later, because when I opened the magazine, it was the cover by Merton Marcus. And then I went back to Google all of her work, and my first money that I got for my birthday as a gift, I spent on the magazines. I remember it was $200 to buy just 3 issues of Vogue, because to bring them, I bought it from a guy from New York who was a magazine collector who was reselling all the magazines for like 4 times the price, because it was just €5. I paid I think $50 for each, and then $100 for shipment only from New York to
What cover?
Vogue
What does
Paris.
that look
It was one was Kate and Naomi. When Naomi is holding Kate like this from the back, it was by Mario Testino. There was one with Kate again on the motorbike, and there was this September 2008 cover, and the rest I went back to buy the first cover when he put Kate in the Nike top. It's the first time when the sportswear was used on such a major cover, so we remember this yesterday. So I don't know if she kind of realizes how much influence she had on me, on the people like me, because when I meet the people of my generation, the only answer I get from them is Karim about their influence.
Wow.
And
cool. Wow.
if it's Anna De La Russo, in her case, it's someone who, for me, is the one who invented street style and who did I can relate more or less you with her because she loves to create the characters, but it became so much of her. I cannot imagine like you seeing dressed like in denim or not dressed like this, because as you call yourself, you are couture devotee, as you describe yourself on Instagram. So I wonder, both of you being so much deep into fashion, is there any other industry or career you would explore if you did not work in fashion, and what it would be?
Well, I've had a whole career in the theater.
I know.
But it's they're all, for me, I used to feel very scattered. Of like, I want to do theater and I want fashion and writing and and then I realized, kind of recently, that it's all just expressions of self. It's just different doors out of and into the same place. So it's just, what's the palette today? Kind of like, what are we wearing today? What facet are we expressing today? So that was a non-answer to your question. Non-answer answer to your question.
Yeah, I see.
Mel?
Okay, I'd love to be a TV host, television show host.
I still want.
Cool. Yeah.
I think both of you
Maybe we
could
can do a
be
show
doing
together.
that.
Yeah, maybe we can do a show together.
Yeah.
I need some organization. She's so
Well,
organized.
yeah,
Look at him.
yeah.
He's like so organized. I want to be a television host, and I'd love to be like Joan Rivers 2.0.
Okay.
You know, like, because that is so sad. There's not real criticism, fun. Like, whatever happened to fun? You know, and criticism and shit. People get away with too much.
I think that could happen this afternoon.
Yeah, it could.
You could be Joan Rivers walking out of here.
I can't be the editor-in-chief of Interview Magazine and Joan Rivers at the same time.
No, but you can
That's
get
the
your
problem.
Joan Rivers TV show, kill two birds, one stone.
Yeah.
be on
Let's
your
go.
way.
Let's talk. We're gonna talk.
Yeah.
Producer.
I see you.
Like a real,
Yeah.
real
I see you.
amazing producer.
I see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And your show is like starting right now. Here it is.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, but that's also one of my dreams since childhood. I remember I was sitting, I had a mirror in front of me, just inventing that I was hosting a TV show. But I'm still like exploring my career. So maybe this is the next step. Let's see. So this is my fashion non-realized dream. What is your non-realized fashion dream that you still have?
Oh. Non-realized fashion dream.
Or outfit?
Oh.
It's a great question. I would say for me it's like the just some other great what are my non-realized fashion dreams? I mean, I'd love to do a Britney Spears cover.
Oh,
It'd be
yes.
so fucking
This is all of our
perfect, you know what I'm
dreams.
saying?
Yeah.
I just don't think it's a reality, but it's a real dream.
Yeah.
I would, and you're gonna come be part of it because you were there.
Please.
I don't know that I actually articulated this dream until you asked this question. I would like to recreate some of the early, not early, but some of the Galliano Dior and McQueen shows. Those shows that
Wow.
that kind of live in fashion infamy, that you see those clips, you see the images, and you're like, that. And I will say, sitting at the Margiela show a couple of seasons ago, felt like, I was like, oh, this is what they meant.
Yeah.
Right.
This is what, when people talk about sitting at those shows and the world cracking open, this is what they meant. And so I have now just birthed, thanks to your question, a fantasy that I want to.
So good. Yeah.
I want to recreate that in some way that might, but not just to sort of replay it, but to kind of understand it in some other way. Maybe it's sort of a theatrical installation experience that we can sort of walk through. But honestly, I just want to wear the dresses and walk down those stairs.
Yeah.
So that's what I want.
I would also say for me, it's like I'm always thinking about what code can I crack in my brain for changing stuff. Like I just wanna every day be like, oh, fuck, what am I doing next? Like how am I gonna really enjoy this, and how am I gonna switch it up for people's enjoyment too? So I'm always like looking for some dream. So it could be about Instagram. It could be about a cover or a photo shoot or a television idea or like or some star thing. I don't know, but I'm always just thinking about some new dreams.
So are you both, it's a question to both, are you excited about the future, considering all of this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What are you most excited
Look what's
about?
possible.
Yeah.
Look where we are.
Yeah.
We are in Paris.
Yeah.
At Fashion Week,
In the middle.
looking at these extraordinary artists making a contribution, figuring it out, flying, soaring, tanking, but whatever. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
And
amazing.
You? Are you excited about the future?
I'm very concerned about the future.
Okay.
I mean, like, I really am not in a period of excitement about the future, but hopefully it'll be cool.
And therein lies the difference.
Yeah. I can't. It would be dishonest if I said I was just excited about the future, but I mean, hopefully I am.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's another day.
Yeah, I see. And to the last question of
I will say, I was talking about the fashion future.
Okay.
The geopolitical future is a whole other story.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now
Which
I'm
is
seeing
not
them-
for this.
Yeah. No, I know. But right now, in this moment, just a moment of honesty, I have been struggling in 2025 to separate the two
Fair,
things.
fair,
It's like
fair, fair,
really
fair, fair.
hard for me as an editor of a magazine to separate what is going on geopolitically with fashion, and that's hard. But I'm working on it.
It's a fair
It's tough.
challenge.
Yeah. And after all this talk about fashion, do you think that it's the same question for both of you? Should we take fashion seriously or not? Seriously as you do.
Same answer as before. Don't care a lot.
Okay.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.